Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, hanging out with these two.
Nerdarchist Ryan.
And Nerdarchist Dave.
And today we have a GM 911 from Garamond over on the forums. He's running an online game, and he's got two players that are fighting like cats over magic items and every little thing, and it's ruining the game.
Ruining it. Well, so apparently it also sounds like there's a lot of just inter-party conflict between the two of them.
Right.
Rivalry,
so,
yeah. But they're friends out of game, and it is an online game.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
So he says that, it seems like a fairly straightforward solution. Should he talk to them out of game and say, look, this has to be dealt with, or should he let them resolve it on their own and let the bloodshed happen?
So, and also, too, the point to bring up is that it actually escalated to the point where one player attacked the other, and so Garamond, retconned it for that to not happen.
Yeah, and he put down the heavy hammer and said, no PvP in my game.
Right, so, I mean, actually, that's really like the Session 0 sort of, do you set parameters of is player versus player okay in your game?
Yeah, that's kind of like a social contract thing, I think. Yeah. As part of the game, and I guess especially if you're playing online and you maybe you don't know the people you're playing with, then maybe that's what he's got. That's what he really needs to retcon is either the Session 0 or Session 0 / social contract. Yeah. And this way, if you can institute something like this. And
it's a guideline for everyone else in the game moving forward, not just those two players. And also, it saves you from singling them out if you have everyone together and hey, we're going to set the guidelines of what's okay and what's not.
Right.
Yeah, the next session you could just be like, hey, we're going to do a quick, social contract / Session 0, whatever you want to, however you want to word it, and just put down some rules, and then you could let your players as well. Put some feedback in and what they are looking for and what they want from the game,
or things they absolutely wouldn't want to see happen in the game. Because you could have a character that's very villainous in the game, but there's certain things that people don't want in their RPGs, even if it's a villain. So. Yeah. Well,
that's true. I mean, definitely, there's there is always the possibility that personally people have gone through
triggers
some things,
or whatever,
and so they don't want that in a fantasy game. So.
Or just not even going through it, just uncomfortable by it. It's people, and going back to but I now take it to derail myself, but I'm knowing now.
Spit it out.
Yeah. So it's just things that people find really unnerving that they don't want to see happen in their gaming session. So
so you guys can come up with your own D&D does and don'ts.
Yeah. Some people feel that PvP, if it's ever escalates to that, it means the DM has done something incorrect. Other times it really is just players that...
Sometimes your players are just assholes.
Well, and also sometimes it's appropriate for the story arc of the characters. All right, the only way this is going to end is for one character to be lying dead or to be ostracized and leave the group or whatever. And that's fine too. So the character leaves the group, but that player makes a new character that's going to play nice with others or fit into the group better, have a better disposition or personality.
I've been in many games that PvP never comes up, and I've been in games where the characters are making choices and it's moving closer and closer, and we all see it coming, and we know that it's going to get to a point where one of those players is going to have to die.
Well, the character, not the player.
Well, I mean, yes,
the player.
Yeah, we know that one of those players one of those characters are going to have to die. It's going to come to conflict, and the two central figures that this was happening with was me and one of my friends, and we were both enjoying this rise, this increase, and it came to blows. He lost, and he thought it was awesome. He thought the way the combat happened. his character died, but he was like,
Yeah,
this was-
unfortunately, it doesn't go like that a lot of times.
Yeah,
Correct.
aren't. A lot of people aren't mature enough to handle the fact that it's a game, and like, all right, you were invested in your character, but
Right.
just make a new character that you're going to become just as invested
He-
as. But not everybody takes it that way.
Right, he considered that this was the culmination of his character's story arc, and he was happy with the way it ended, even though he had to go and make a new character.
Yeah.
Doesn't always happen like that, but it is possible. And since it is playing a game, and you always have the ability to just make a new character and start afresh, it's not a problem.
Yeah, like
Well-
no one's gonna tell you, oh, your character's completely dead, and you're like, you might be out for the rest of the session because your character's dead, but you know you can always get back into the game.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like too, like though, like with a good session 0, like you kind of like nip this in the bud. You know, and unless in session 0 you kind of discuss like that's the arc for those characters,
Yeah.
and you know going forward that it's going to come to a head. But you know, for the most part, it's a cooperative game, and that should be avoided. Not only that though, because it takes away from the rest of the people at the table.
Yeah.
If you know, if it becomes about these two players, you know, or one player and it's trying to like hog the spotlight.
And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. Is it about the characters or is it about the players? And that's really where the difference is going to be. And
It's
you know,
more okay if it's more decidedly about the characters, but even so, like if 50% of game time and you're like 2 people in a group of 6, like if 50% of the
stealing-
game
you're stealing
you're
from
stealing
other
the spotlight.
players,
Yeah,
right.
it really is what it comes down to. So that's a problem.
If it's more about the players, then it's wrong, it's disruptive, and it needs to stop. If it's about the characters, then it should be allowed to continue. That's my opinion.
I agree, as long as you're not robbing the other players at the table of their time.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
you know, with that, we've gone a little off topic because Garamond already said there will be no PvP at his table.
Yeah, that's
He's
true.
drawing the
I mean,
line.
and if your GM sets that parameter, you have to respect that as a player. That
You do.
like that's because the GM is like GM is God by that point. If you set hard and fast guidelines, like if you're rolling another player, you're actually not because that didn't happen. So yeah,
where you both fall into a sphere of annihilation.
yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. What are your suggestions? How would you help Garamond through this little conflict he's got going on at his table, or his virtual table, as it may be? Let us know in the comments below while you're at it. Like, share, and subscribe.
You can check out the articles over on nerdarchy.com.
You can form a pact with us over on Patreon and patronize us in a good way.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.